So we have some really great, or certainly let's just put it as breaking news to share in today's update, which is really about the fact that the final piece of the puzzle that we really needed in order to try to approve of the most recent fourth stimulus inflation bill that we have been talking about. It is the same exact bill that we talked about in the last update. Most of you guys already saw it. I believe it's literally just called the official fourth stimulus inflation bill. That bill, or all the details related to that bill, is going to be at the very end screen on the bottom if you guys haven't seen that video. But the big idea is that one of the things we talked about is that this was a bill that essentially what made it particularly special is that it was really the first bill that Joe Manchin officially agreed to or was in full support of. So with Joe Manchin and then the entire, or more or less most of the Democratic Party all on board, we really only had one missing piece of the puzzle. But the really great news, or just simply put breaking news, again depending on how you see it, but again feel free to comment, is that that final piece of the puzzle, which is basically the ideas, is that Kristen Sinema has now officially agreed or expressed that she is in support of this bill, with one caveat, which is really that she does want one change to happen inside of the bill. But the really, I guess, just again breaking in great news is that they talked about it among her entire party, and that everyone in her party has agreed that they will be making this change. So bottom line is, what this really means is that this most recent fourth stimulus bill that we've been talking about, it means that it might really much approve sometime very soon now. So the big idea is that in today's update, I really just want to talk about what's been going on in the world of the fourth stimulus, what are the next steps, what you guys can expect from here, and then all of the big details that you guys have to maybe know for what this means for all of us together right here, because we are all people that are living in this country, sharing the same economy, and hopefully we all want stimulus at the end of the day. So with that being said, we are going to get started, but real fast, as always, remember to smash the like button if you guys hopefully enjoy videos like this. Of course, you guys can decide, but it is always greatly appreciated. Consider subscribing and hitting the bell. And as always, feel free to comment any questions, personal thoughts about, honestly, really anything, especially about this bill. It really is always great to hear personal opinions, because there are definitely many. So with that being said, let's get this video started. So now, when it comes to this fourth stimulus bill about what's going to be the following up next steps, the big idea is that they're going to now officially be taking this bill, now that they do know the entire Senate Democratic Party is in support of this bill and they do have the votes necessary in order to get it through. They're going to essentially be taking this bill any day now, so possibly even today, because again, this was announced yesterday that they're going to now officially be sending this into the Senate in order to get approved. Once inside of the Senate and once approved, again assuming everything goes smoothly, because things always change, but so far that's what the foresight is that they're going to be taking this sometime next week and now bring it into the House, and then inside of the House, when it hopefully gets approved inside the House, it's going to now get moved onto President Joe Biden's desk and then officially be just completely stamped and approved in its entirety. So that is the really big breaking news, that we will potentially now very much have a bill that's going to now actually officially go through. Now, in terms of maybe what is that one big change that we kind of just mentioned again, that Kristen Sinema did say that she wanted to have inside of this bill, is that right now inside of this bill, we already talked all about all of the details to what's inside. So again, definitely check out that video at the very end screen on the bottom if you haven't seen it, or if you need a refresher for what actually is in store. But the big idea is that almost everything that we talked about inside of that bill, such as like things about climate change, funding the IRS, all sorts of different programs, health insurance, everything related to the world of healthcare, potential money and funding for different, government. So basically, essentially what this is that they're going to be giving money to the IRS, and now the IRS can use that money to decide what they want to spend it on. Maybe it will be stimulus programs, but this is going to be up to their particular decision. But the one change that she did end up announcing that she really wanted that is going to be changed is going to be basically everything related to the tax code. So the big idea is that one of the things that we talked about inside of this bill is the fact that within this bill, there are many, many different policies that they're trying to implement in order to do things related to taxes. So for example, like increasing taxes so that they can use that extra tax money to fund the government and help inflation. Things such as eliminating certain tax loopholes that many rich people use, tightening a lot of the restrictions and requirements that they do related to that. So the big idea is that they did actually, just again, general news, you guys can comment if you guys support it or don't support it. But the big idea is that one of the things inside was really about trying to find a way to eliminate the tax loopholes. Now she wants to eliminate the policy meant to eliminate the tax loophole. So essentially what this really means is that the stuff related to the tax loopholes, they're still going to be continuing. They're going to be removing that from the bill, which means that all of the things that, a lot of the people inside of our country have been using as a loophole to get away or to help them pay less taxes, they will now continue being able to use that. This does admittedly mean that it's going to be a little bit less money for the IRS. However, with that being said, the great news is that at least they're still going to be able to get money from just a lot of the other things that we mentioned again inside of that particular video and kind of briefly touched on so far in this video. Now, there is actually maybe just one general note to know about it is in order to try to get this bill through, they are going to be going through a process, as most of you guys know, called reconciliation. And as a part of being able to use reconciliation, there are actually very, very specific rules that they have to follow. You guys might have remembered that we kind of touched up on this, maybe shout out or comment if you guys remember when we talked about the second stimulus check back then, about how there are certain kinds of rules or limitations that you have to follow in order to use reconciliation. So they really are just trying to make sure that everything's aligned with their rules, but it looks promising and it looks like it's pretty much going to be what's going to happen, is that once they gain the approval to use reconciliation, they're going to physically use it, get it through as a vote, and that's pretty much going to be our fourth stimulus bill. Now, I think one of the maybe big things that's really important to cover that we're going to talk about next, which might be the final thing that we're really going to talk about, is going to be about the timeline. So the story is that they have announced that they're going to be trying to approve it inside of the Senate in one of the upcoming days, announced yesterday if you are watching this on release date. Then it's going to go into the House. The big idea is that they are on a little bit of a time crunch, because the reason why is that because technically they are going to be going on vacation really soon. Supposedly they were going to go on vacation by the end of this week, but they're likely going to have to call in a special session in order to try to vote on it, because the real reason why is that because after they vote on this bill, they are now officially going to be going on a vacation, specifically a recess, from now all the way until September, because this is going to be their Labor Day weekend vacation. Well, I guess in this point, Labor Day month, because it's not really a weekend, it's a month. The big idea is that, as most of you guys know, is that inside of Congress, when there is a particular holiday, in many cases, instead of taking the weekend or the day of that particular holiday off, they get to enjoy an entire month off. So the big idea is that they're going to be on vacation for a month. So what this really means for us, and the significance is that once we have this bill go through, there are actually still a couple other bills that they are debating on right now. For example, things like, child tax credit. It's subtle, but it's there. But the big idea is that they're going to be, after they work out the details about everything related to this bill, we probably will not hear as much about stimulus in general until they come back from vacation. And I think the big idea is that there's a lot of progress to share, and I think that's probably the biggest takeaway from this video. So with that being said, if you guys made it this far, thank you guys so much for watching. Maybe consider smashing the like button if you guys haven't done so, subscribing. Feel free to comment any questions, personal thoughts about what you think about this bill. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, stay safe, stay well. If you're watching this on release, have a great